Yo, welcome to Mellow_Magikarp's YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be going over and I'm potentially going to butcher the pronunciation, the Aichi Champions League. This was a tournament that happened over in Japan. It was 1,600 players, so a very large tournament. Now, Japan has a few things different than us, but a lot of it is the same. So a couple things is the sets they have half of our June set already. They have the Matchless Fighter set. This includes cards like those Bird Trio. So not like the Bird Trio that we know of, but like the Galarian, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. So they have access to those cards. They have access to the Blaziken VMAX. They have access to that like Target Whistle reprint. So they have a few cards we don't, and they're also missing a few cards we don't have. So they don't have any Prison Star. That includes Coco Prism, Wondrous Labyrinth, stuff like that. They don't have Absol from Team Up. They don't have Jirachi from Team Up. Incineroar GX, that's a big one too. But otherwise, a very similar format. And in such a large and in-person tournament, I figured it was worth checking out. So it's 9 rounds of best of 1 Swiss into a top 16 cut. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the results and some of the lists from this tournament. I will have the link to the video of the stream down below as well. So if you want to actually watch it or you want to just kind of fast forward, see if you see anything you like, you can do that. Commentary is in Japanese, of course. If you would like some English commentary, I did on my Twitch channel stream the first few rounds with English commentary of myself, of course. So you can check that out as well on twitch.tv/mellow_magikarp. That link will be below too. So let's go ahead and take a look. This link, I'll also put this. These are the results with the list. Our winning list, which was Mewtwo Welder, an incredibly strong deck. And one of the things that it gains from that June set that we don't have is that Galarian Zapdos, which of course is pretty much going to body Eternatus very, very, very quickly. It attacks for fighting colorless, 3 colorless. But for each of your opponent's V Pokemon, including VMAX in play, it attacks for a colorless less. So typically against Eternatus, if they can OHKO a Mewtwo, this will attack for only 1 Aurora energy, and it does just enough damage to OHKO them. Very big deal. So Mewtwo got a very good little counter there. Otherwise, a lot of the normal Mewtwo Mew stuff, they do play a Lopunny. I'm not 100% sure why, but you know, their meta is very ADP heavy. It's not bad against ADP if they bench enough Dedennes and their ADP down. Their meta is a lot of Victini VMAX. Their meta is a lot of Mewtwo decks, including Mewtwo Victini or just a straight Welder box like this one. They've got a little bit of Senti over there, more Mad Party than we got, Rapid Strike Urshifu. So it's a lot of the same meta you would expect from us, with the exception of less Pikarom, because there is no Coco Prism Star. This is the winning list. It looks pretty solid. You know, there's, for the most part, we can play this exact same list. Stuff like Ordinary Rod, I wouldn't personally play. Tool Jammer's cool because Tool Jammer stops that Rusted Sword from ADPZ from OHKOing. We're not going to go through each list in a ton of detail. The Masters runner-up, we don't have their list, but it was Inteleon, which is super cool. Highly suggest if you get a chance to check out the finals match or any of the other Inteleon matches, you should. But the Inteleon list, similar to what Stefan Ivanov posted, it just kind of ran through a ton of Victinis. And with no Pikarom, that's pretty good too. So that was the runner-up. Winner, Mewtwo Welder. Second place was the, oh my gosh, Inteleon. Coming in as the seniors winner. So seniors was not the 1,600 person tournament. We had an Urshifu Rapid Strike, Urshifu VMAX deck. A couple things that we don't have from this list, which are kind of exciting from that June set. So we have the Passimian in here, which says your Pokemon's attacks to the bench do 30 more damage to GX and V Pokemon. So Rapid Strike Urshifu's second attack can do 150 to the bench. Pretty darn good. We also have the Telescopic Sight, which should stack according to my logic. So there's another 30. So it should be 180 potentially. And we have this card, the Horn of something. I don't actually remember the name, but what it says is put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. So this deck can really prey on Dedennes, Crobat, stuff like that with those snipe attacks. That was our dub from the seniors. Seniors runner up was a Dark Mewtwo. List is down here. There we go. Was a Dark Mewtwo list. There it is. This is a couple things we don't have that I really hope we get soon. Obviously, we're going to get the that's a Moltres. The Galarian Moltres, which lets you put a dark energy from your discard pile onto this Pokemon once per turn. So you can just keep piling them on, and then you can move them with Weavile over to the Mewtwo. We also have Bryson Man and Belelba, but the reprint. The reprint says it's what? Discard 5 cards from your hand, search your deck for 3 Pokemon of different types and 2 energies of different types. If I remember correctly, 2 basic energies of different types. Incredibly powerful because you can go grab Sneasel, Mewtwo, and type Null, or whatever you have to grab turn 1. Or you can go grab like Mewtwo, Sneasel, Dedenne, and then you get a whole new hand of 6. So an incredibly powerful card that we don't have. Also works with that tag call engine. But a super cool list, a super cool deck. Also showed up on stream, not the seniors version, but a master playing the same deck. This was one of the most popular decks over there, interestingly enough. Like, not something you would have expected, but super cool. Coming runners up in seniors and fairly highly played in masters as well. Top 4, we have the translator extraordinaire Tuan Lei coming in top 4 with a Mewtwo Welder box as well. Look, Mewtwo's good, Welder's good. Why don't you just play both? And that's what a few people did. So a couple things in this list. We have 2 of those Galarian Zapdos, potentially more afraid of Eternatus than others, but also it's just a good attacker. Like being able to hit 170 for 1 energy with an entirely different type, kind of nice. Like that's a big deal. We have a Volcanion in here. We have, this one has a Honchkrow, which I think is incredibly interesting. I assume it's just an extra spread attack. The 90-30 is not bad. Like sometimes you don't need to hit. Sometimes hitting on the bench is incredibly powerful. The Oricorio's in here, the Tool Jammer, all the usual stuff. So for the most part, like I said, outside of the Zapdos, we can use all of this stuff. But Mewtwo Welder, killing it there, coming in top 4. The other top 4, we do not have a list for, but it is Victini VMAX and Red Perfection being Welder Mewtwo. So this is Victini Mewtwo, one of the most popular decks there. If you watch the stream, you'll see a ton of Victini. Masters top 8, we have Centiskorch. Coming in top 8, looks like a slightly different than the one we've been playing over here. 3 reset stamps, no Jirachi net package, because there is no Jirachi over there. But showing that Centiskorch can still be pretty dominant, even without those types of cards. Interesting list, the 2 research, all that stuff. Is it better than the Jirachi net version? Heck if I know. I've never played this one. But it did well. Top 8 and 1,600 people is pretty darn good. We have another Senti coming in at top 8 as well. This one, let's make the prettier list. There we go. This one, pretty darn similar. No research. Instead, they've opted for another Dedenne. Less stamps. They've opted for another Pokegear as well. So again, it's Centiskorch. Centiskorch is just a very strong card as long as you can set up. And clearly they've set up. It's best of 1. They're killing it. Another top 8 deck. We have our, ADPZ, 3 Gods, as they call it, which I think is just such a cool name. We messed that up. ADPZ, terrible nickname. 3 Gods, that is a solid nickname. But ADPZ was one of the most played decks. Coming in pretty strong there. Coming into top 16, we have a Dragapult. No, there's no Dragapult in this. This is Gengar Mimikyu Rapid Strike Urshifu. Okay, this was, I clearly missed this. I saw the Psychic Energies and was immediately like, oh, it's Dragapult Urshifu. No, this is a Gengar Mimikyu Urshifu with the tag call engine for the Guzmahalas, which search out most of your energy. Super interesting. They got the telescopic sight in here. They also have the Passimian back here. Again, we don't have the Passimian yet. That's going to come out in our June set. Super, super interesting card, but a pretty interesting deck. I'd be curious to see how this does for us as well, because we have Gengar Mimikyu, we have Urshifu, we don't have the snipe attack, but otherwise, yeah, that could be good. All right, keep going down. We have this one showed up on stream if I remember correctly. We don't have the full list, but it is Inteleon, Rapid Strike Urshifu. They played both the old Inteleon, the one that lets you search for 2 trainer cards, and the new Inteleon, which has Decidueye's Feather Arrow ability. Once per turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Obviously, this goes well with the snipe attack of Rapid Strike Urshifu. You're able to build up damage or clean stuff off after you've already sniped it. So one that we can't play over here, but one that I think we should be generally excited about. It seems like a pretty cool deck. I'm a fan of Inteleon. I was a fan of Decidueye, so I would be excited if that comes back. We have another Rapid Strike Urshifu coming in. Yeah, no list on this one. In fact, they just showed the Indeedee. Sure, that's fine. Here we go. Let's see. No, they do not have their full list here. How unfortunate. But it is another Rapid Strike Urshifu coming in at top 16. We have a couple, what's it called? ADPZs coming in top 16 as well. We have another Welder Mewtwo, this one with Pokemon catchers coming in at top 16. And a Victini Mewtwo as well. Pull this one up. One that we haven't seen yet, Aurora Victini. Aurora, again, makes a lot of sense. When you can put 1 card with Aurora energies in your deck and just say, I'm probably going to beat Eternatus pretty well with this, that's pretty good. Like you definitely do that. And the Aurora energy lets you do stuff like have Vileplume to swing for 180, swing with Naganadel. They've got the Gengar Mimikyu. Seems to be a lot of Gengar Mimikyu happening over there. So coming in at top 16, they've also got the Horn as well. We have a Tempozard coming in at top 16 as well. Super interesting about this list, though, they don't have Team Up Jirachi. This isn't the Scoop Up Jirachi build. This is, they have Zard, Blown, they have Cram, they have a Heatran over here. It's a Rainbow Rare. And they've opted for 3 Escape Rope, 2 Switch. They have a Stamp. They have 4 Pokegears, kind of combat that no Jirachi. And this was actually featured on stream. A very cool game. And the deck ran way smoother than I was expecting without the Team Up Jirachi in it. The Escape Rope was actually kind of nasty in this deck, I'm not gonna lie. And it makes me want to try Escape Rope Blowns because being able to Escape Rope away from a VMAX, your opponent's trying to wall you and they have 1 prize left and you're just like, all right, rope, I win. It feels pretty good. And that's one of the value of the Talonflame in this deck. You can obviously just eat your hand away if you have to. It hits pretty darn hard, the Talonflame does. KO's a Dene. But being able to also get that Escape Rope play off is kind of nice too. That's another one of those top 16 decks. And then we have the rest in top 32. Just a couple cool things that we're going to feature real quick. Top 32 may not seem amazing, but top 32 out of 1,600 is pretty darn amazing if you ask me. So this is a Grass Mewtwo, or if you want to call it Relish, you can call it Relish as well. They play the Milotic and the Galarian Zapdos. Look, Zapdos is teched into everything. I don't think any of you watching this are particularly surprised about that. Just a good attack, a good ability, and a counter to one of your biggest weaknesses is a Mewtwo deck. I'm sold. Let's play that card. So a pretty generic list, you use Eggrow or use Mewtwo to copy Eggrow to get out the Rillaboom. And then you have a variety of attackers to choose from. Very fun deck. If you've never played it, highly suggest it. We have the highest placing Dark Mewtwo list from Masters. This one, instead of utilizing the Bryson Man and Belelba, it's still a tag call engine, but also got the 4 research, got experience share, which is actually something I think we're kind of sleeping on. This deck might be worth messing around with. Obviously, we don't have the Moltres, which lets you accelerate 1 energy per turn, which is nice. But experience share helps make this deck a little bit stronger. You can copy some of the most broken attacks in the game. Darkrai Umbreon's GX attack literally just says you're knocked out and your opponent can't play any trainer cards next turn. Like, what? That's so ridiculous. And being able to take an extra prize card on a Dedenne with Sabltar, Look, I don't want to spoil the stream game if anyone wants to watch it, but there is a Dark Mewtwo that is featured, and they go from losing to literally just win the game out of nowhere. It is amazing. It is one of the best games. So highly suggest finding that one as well. Super cool deck. Unfortunately, they didn't get higher. We have Victini with Zard coming in at top 32 as well. You know, we got the list, so you can check it out. We have another ADPZ, the first, I think, ADPZ list we've seen. 4 hammers, so of course, you know, they must be a very good player. I got 25th. I can't be that. I can't be that snarky about it. A lot of the ADP lists are playing Mewtwo, which is super interesting over there. ADP was the most popular deck in the tournament. It's one of the most popular decks in their meta. It was one of the highest represented, if you haven't seen the amount of ADPZs we have seen so far. But there's a list. Interesting, you know, it's got the Viridian, it's got the hammers, sure, why not? It's got a stamp, a bunch of stuff inside of it. We have an Eternatus, the highest placing Eternatus, coming in at 28. Good for them. Eternatus coming in at 28th with all those Galarian Zapdos hanging around shows just the power of the deck. One thing that this one has, obviously we don't, is that Galarian Moltres with Energy Switch. Both anti-hammer technology and lets you miss the turn 1 attach. And that's the nice part. It's also a decent counter against that Zapdos. Zapdos being able to KO you for 1 energy is kind of detrimental because you need multiple turns to attach in order to power up another one. So you go attach pass, they go, you know, do whatever, you go attach knockout, and then they can just go, cool, Galarian Zapdos, knock you out, and you have no more energy on board. So having the Moltres E-Switch combo lets you set up another Eternatus out of nowhere. So a cool counter and one that, you know, it might make Eternatus survive. I know there's only one in that top 32. And the highest placing was 28th, but also, here's 129th. Sick. But there's hasn't been many, but like, that's still very good. Placing 28th and then 29th. We have, again, have the Moltres E-Switch combo. Shows the power of the deck. And then 32nd, look, we had to include this one. This was on stream. You can go back and watch it. But Licky Licky Altaria coming in at 32nd in a massive 1,600 person tournament. Bit of a control deck. Attacking control, if you will. You know, the Licky Licky, discard an energy, top card of your opponent's deck and a card from their hand. Kind of good. You have the Altaria to wall off anyone who doesn't have answers. Potentially just buy yourself some time if you need it. You know, the Pokemaniac, which lets you search out the Licky Licky and the Licky Tongue. Hammers, Fan of Waves. General Disruption deck. I know some of you, hopefully you made it this far in this video if you are one of those people. This is one of those like spicy lists that you're looking for. This is, I'm pretty sure, entirely standard legal. I'm not seeing anything in here that we can't have in our format. So a super cool list. Congrats to them on getting, what's it called? Top 32. And then there's more if you are interested, top 64 and then top 100 that you can go look at as well. We're not going to go in depth on those. But overall, I like looking at this because their meta is not that far off of ours. Like, yes, they have some cards we don't have, like that Galarian Zapdos, which hurts Eternatus a bit. But as a whole, a lot of these decks look like the stuff that we can play. And so it can give us a bit of an insight. You know, the power of Mewtwo is really, really, really strong. And I want to start featuring some Mewtwo deck profiles in the next few days because I think Mewtwo, I mean, A, it's fun. I really love Mewtwo. But B, Mewtwo is just such a good card and it's so strong in the meta right now, especially as people are still shying away from Eternatus. So let me know what you think of the results below. If there's anything that surprised you, anything that you really liked, anything that you want me to go over deeper in a future video, I can do that too. This was just like a broad overview. And thank you all for watching. Check out the Twitch, check out the Twitter as well. Again, a link to the regional or the Champions League. It's a regional down below. And if you want to watch the VOD of the English restream, check out my Twitch channel as well. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.